Welcome back to another episode of Buzzworthy Businesses. I'm your host, John Visser, and today with me I have two guests on the show. I have Marc Goldman from Esri, and I got Kelsey March from High Performance Coaching. Marc, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the opportunity to be on the show.
Thank you for coming. Tell us a little bit about Esri and what you guys are up to there.
Yeah, Esri is really the world's largest digital mapping company, software and services. We have developed the technology and the services around it, and really a whole ecosystem that allows you to answer questions related to where. I focus specifically on the architecture, engineering, construction, environmental consulting, and infrastructure sectors, but there's a whole lot of other industries that Esri's digital maps, GIS as it's known, Geographic Information Systems, a whole lot of other industries that GIS serves. And it's my job to get the word out about how amazing these capabilities are as it pertains to architecture, engineering, construction, and the other sectors that I mentioned.
Oh, wow. That is really phenomenal. And I'm going to circle back to you here in a second. But first, Kelsey, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for hopping onto the show. Now, Kelsey, you're a high performance coach. And now before we get into that, because I know Marc might think that we're into racing here, but you've got nothing to do with racing. What does a high performance coach do?
Yeah, so I specifically work with digital business owners, a lot of people in the marketing field to really help them scale their businesses. And we do so with cutting their working time in half, as well as the stress levels that come with being a business owner. We really look at two components. So we're looking at their leadership skills, really stepping into those leadership shoes and how can they, level up as their business levels up, and then also the operational framework. So if you wanted to break it down into 4 key words, it's habits, routines, processes, and systems, split between the operations of the business and split with being the actual leader of the person behind it.
You know what? I couldn't agree more. Being the owner of 2 separate businesses, I find it increasingly difficult to manage time during my day. But Marc, first, I want to know from you, how did you get involved in this technological mapping industry that you're busy in?
Yeah, I've had an interesting path that takes me here. I've always been interested in architecture and engineering and buildings and just sort of the built world. I studied architecture and engineering many years ago at Tulane University in New Orleans, but the technology side of the industry caught my interest more so than being the next great architect or the next great engineer. So I've worked for some of the world's largest companies in this space, delivering software and services and messaging and marketing and products related to computer-aided design and building information modeling and 3D animation. And about 5 years ago, when Esri formed a new group to focus exactly on those sectors, someone reached out to me and said, how would you like to lead the effort, getting the marketing messaging, expanding the reach, letting the world know about these great capabilities as it pertains to the built world? And I jumped at the opportunity, and for the last 5 years have been leading the strategy and determining where our message should go and how loud we should amplify it. I write articles, I do podcasts, I attend conferences, I consult, I participate in a number of industry associations, both US-based as well as globally. And it's a pretty exciting and fun time to be in this space.
You sound like a busy man. I can honestly say there's a lot on your plate. Kelsey, if you can give a couple of tips for people that is in their businesses just to get them with their appetite and give you a shot, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say you want to take a look at how you're spending your time as a business owner and really how can you take the repeatable things and get them off of your plate? How can you really step into your zone of genius and stay where your higher expert level is needed and everything else would be not your responsibility. Not to say that you don't enjoy doing some of those things, but scalability really comes down to the simplicity of repeatable systems. So thinking of documentation with what's working in your business, get that out of your head onto paper, and so that you can leverage that either with automation or with team. And those are the places that I would really start, which starts to look at your behavior first as the business owner and where your time and energy is going. And then moving forward from there with building the actual operational infrastructures to back and support that.
Marc, Kelsey, thank you so much for taking the time to hop on this call with me today. It was a blast having you guys as guests here. I can talk about these things for hours, but unfortunately our time has come to an end. And thank you to the viewers at home and at the office for watching and tuning in today. And if you guys are more interested in businesses similar to this of Marc and of Kelsey, please tune in to the Daily News Network. Thank you very much.